Hey, what's up, guys? Jonathan Liu here, and wanted to make a video today and talk about the conscious versus subconscious mind, and also subconscious beliefs and how they can affect you and your life. So basically, I think a lot of people understand the difference between the conscious and subconscious mind, but if you don't know, the conscious mind, right, is the thoughts that we have consciously, that we make consciously. So today it's like, oh, I feel like wearing a blue shirt, or I want to wear a blue shirt. That's a thought, and I'm going to go ahead and put on a blue shirt. Or maybe a conscious thought is just, when you're very aware of things and you're like, oh, I've got to go to the market today, or I've got a business meeting later today, right? Just very conscious, very aware. Whereas the subconscious mind, right, this is very, very interesting because the subconscious mind is actually the part of our brains that runs most of our life, right? Like we are run by about 96 to 98% of our subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is actually the part of us that records everything. Like you have everything stored in your subconscious mind, everything from your little baby, everything you've seen, heard, experienced, felt, tasted, everything is all stored in the subconscious mind. And it's kind of like a computer, right? It's just programmed, it's installed, it's in there, and it's kind of like going on autopilot. So a perfect example of this is when I started driving. Like when I first started driving, I started with an automatic car, but then I eventually went to a manual stick shift car. And if you remember when you first drove, right, it's like, even if it's an automatic car, you're very aware of everything. You're very conscious of everything. You sit down, you adjust your seat, right? You adjust the mirrors on both sides, and you're very conscious. You put it in gear, you go back, right? Everything's, very slow, but eventually it becomes automatic. And that's what happened with me with the stick shift, right? I mean, I had never drove stick shift before, and there was 3 pedals instead of 2, and you have to like have 1 foot on the pedal, on the clutch, while you use your other hand, use your hand to put it in a gear, and then you gotta like hit the gas and kind of let go of the clutch at the same time, and then you gotta switch gears, and then you gotta brake, you gotta do everything else part of driving. And it was really like scary in the beginning because I didn't know how to do any of that, and I was very conscious, very aware and alert of everything I was doing. And I still stalled a few times, the first couple days. And eventually it started becoming natural for me. Eventually, after a few weeks of driving, I was very, it just became automatic. I didn't even have to think about it. It was just like, boom, put in a gear, switch gears, go, stop. I was eating a burger and drinking a soda while driving. It was nothing. I could talk on the phone, which I think back then I didn't have a cell phone at the time. But you get what I'm saying, right? It's automatic. We go on autopilot. Same thing if you're driving to work. Like if you've been at a place for work, you've been working years and years, it's almost like we go on autopilot, right? We don't even think. Get up, shower, get in the car, drive. You don't have to think like, oh, I got to turn right on here. I got to make sure I turn left here, get onto the freeway, exit. You don't got to think about that because it's just all automatic. And you probably park in the same either parking spot or at least the vicinity of where you usually park. And sometimes even when you are planning to go somewhere else and you're not conscious of it, you're like, hey, I'm going to go meet up with friends for dinner after work today. And you go, and because your subconscious is so used to going home that you take the route home and you're like, oh, wait a second, why am I going this way? Right? It's because our subconscious mind controls all of that, and it rules most of our life and our habits and everything. Right? So I wanted to just kind of touch up on this and go a little bit deeper, because how does this affect us, right? It affects us in so many ways, right? Especially our belief systems and our conscious beliefs and our subconscious beliefs, our actions, our habits. All of these things can affect our lives. So I want to just briefly touch on the belief side of things because it's very important. This is how we manifest different things in our lives. So the first example is kind of, I want to give is about money, right? Because that's a big thing a lot of people have. And if you look at your belief systems about money, your beliefs, right? Your limiting beliefs, right? Things that are limiting you. So for example, me growing up, I always thought several different things, right? A few of the big beliefs were, number one, rich people were stingy or shisty or whatever. And that was because I watched, movies growing up, and they always portrayed this rich person as shisty or like Scrooge-like or immoral or whatever, right? And I was, and that goes into like money is the root of all evil. That's another belief, right? A subconscious belief that I had. Actually, at that time, it was conscious too. I actually believed that. But, this whole rich people are mean and rude and snobby and shisty and stingy, all of that was just my beliefs and what I portrayed. And the way we create our beliefs is based on evidence and experience, right? Whatever the evidence is and whatever we experience. So my evidence and experience was all based on movies at that time, because I didn't know super wealthy people. And it wasn't until high school I met my friend Alvin, and comes from a very wealthy family. Lives really, they have everything that the wealthy people have: the Bentley, nice house, pool, in-home theater, all this stuff. Like one of the wealthiest families I know. And he was like the most down-to-earth person I've ever met. He didn't flaunt his wealth. He didn't, he was very down-to-earth, very kind, very friendly, funny, and just a good dude all around. And I was like, wow, this guy's really cool. And then I met his family, and they were super nice and super welcoming and generous. And I was like, wow, this is so different from what I believed. And that shifted. Like when I saw that, because I experienced that, it shifted my mindset. And I realized, wealthy people are not that, they seem pretty nice and they're pretty down to earth. So, that belief was out the window, and it shifted, and it attracted more wealthy people. Like I saw, the more wealthy people I saw, I realized more and more they're just, they're good people. They're just like you and me, and it's nothing different. Yeah, sure, they're a little bit more successful. Maybe they have better work ethic or whatever, right? And I noticed it again when I was doing door-to-door sales, and I was selling Verizon Fios, and we went to Malibu, and I thought, oh man, like a lot of the people thought, oh dude, are they gonna buy from us? Are they gonna like, strangers walking up and knocking on their doors? These are, $1 million homes behind gated communities. And I was like, at that time I was just like, I had friends that were wealthy. I was like, they're just people too. Let's just give it a shot. And sure enough, I would say about 80% of the people that I talked to, right, knock on their doors and all that, they were very friendly. They were very welcoming. Some invited me in and, had a glass of water with them and explained what we're doing. I made some sales. And sure, there was like maybe a few that, just like, hey, get off my property, or weren't so nice. But they weren't like super rude either. So it really shifted that belief for me, and another big one was money ruins relationships. That was a big one for me because, I would see like people fight about money, on TV, but also in real life. Also, I have, my own parents, they would fight about money, but it wasn't horrible. They didn't split up or anything like that. But I always just believed that, and sure enough, I manifested that into my life with certain girlfriends and even friends, where money ruined that relationship. Because of money, it ruined that relationship. Whether it's lending somebody money and they never pay it back, and it's just awkward and not the same, or whatever, right? And I had to switch those beliefs. I had to change them. And the first part, you got to discover what they are, and then you can change them. And another big thing with belief systems, our conscious versus our subconscious, is, with relationships, and this was really, really, really big because for me, I just, I had the belief, right, growing up, and this is out there a lot, that women all wanted money. Like that's all they wanted. They were all gold diggers and they all wanted money. Right. And that's how I viewed it. And I was like, man, I don't really like that. I want to test this theory out. So I would go out and I learned how to do pickup and pick up girls and all this stuff and game them and, basically manipulate and game them. Right. And I got a lot of women who, I started dating a lot of women who, sure enough, they didn't care about the money. They wanted to be with me because, you know, of the persona that I was playing at the time. And it was weird because a lot of times people always come to me like, no, you can't get a girl if you don't have money or this and that. But I was dating a lot of girls and they didn't want me for my money. In fact, I had a few who would pay for everything for me, right? I have my own sugar mamas and they take me out and they pay for everything. And what I realized was, man, it wasn't that they didn't, you know, they liked me for my money, but they liked me for my personality. And here's the big kicker was my real limiting belief deep subconsciously was I didn't believe a woman would love me for me, like authentically, just me being me, like be yourself. You know, I say be yourself, right? I never believed that. I believed I had to be an asshole, a jerk, because women like assholes and jerks and bad boys, and I treated them poorly and this and that. And here's the truth is some women do like that. And that's what happened. I mean, I got rejected by a lot of women, but the women I did date, they did like the asshole. They did like the jerk. And that's who I portrayed and that's who I was. And I'm not proud of it, but I learned. But my belief was they wouldn't love me for me. And so I always had to put this wall up of this fake me, right? This player me, that I'd go out and I'd date around and all this stuff, flirt and do all these different things. And it worked. And I attracted, you know, women who wanted to be treated badly or for whatever, you know, they have their own issues. But my issue was I was really insecure because I didn't think they'd love me for just me. And I had to put up this front, this facade to attract them. And it wasn't until I met Bridget, my wife now, who we met through healing. So it was, you know, I was not expecting it. I wasn't gaming her. It wasn't anything. We just were natural. And sure enough, you know, we started dating and it wasn't smooth at all in the beginning because we both still had our own issues to work on. And I still had that, well, she doesn't like me for just me. You know, I still have to be mean and I had to use these tactics or use jealousy to get her to like me more and all these playing these mind games and mind tricks, and it just got really tiring and really old very quickly. And I didn't want that anymore because deep down I wanted to have a long-term relationship. And sure enough, after we've been together 9 years now and we've worked through a lot, and I'm happy to say that we're at a much better place and we have an incredible loving relationship together. And a big factor of this is because we both worked on a lot of our own limiting beliefs, our own experiences that we've had with our parents, and learned to really love ourselves. Because like I said before, man, I was really insecure. I didn't think anybody would love me for me. I was able to change that around, and now I believe I'm a good person. I'm kind, I'm generous, I'm loving, I'm caring. And I treat women right. Like I treat, and anyone to have me is going to be lucky. You know, I feel like they're going to be lucky to have me in their life because I'm full of positivity. I'm full of looking at things at a bigger picture and growing, and that's just how I feel. And that's who I attract into my life now, whether it's a woman or a man or whatever, just friends. And I'm much happier that way. But like I said, I had to go through everything and look at my limiting beliefs and all this and change them. And it's the same thing with habits, right? The same thing with habits. There's something, you know, if you're a smoker, you want to quit smoking, or if you want to start working out or eating healthier or learn how to play an instrument or learn a new skill, it's the same thing, right? You've got your conscious and then the subconscious. So conscious action, this is like, all right, every morning I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. I'm going to go for a mile run. That's the conscious, right? And you do that after repetition, repeating it so many times, it becomes a habit, right? They say after 21 days, it becomes a habit. My opinion, I think you need more like 30 to 45 days. If you do it 30 to 45 days every single day consciously, then it becomes a habit. So it's in your subconscious and you'll naturally want to do it. But I believe even more is after 90 days, it becomes a lifestyle where it's like drilled, ingrained in your subconscious, and it's just a part of your life now, right? Because after 90 days, it's really in there. And even then, sometimes you can always switch back out. You can always stop. For some reason, it's so much easier to create bad habits than good habits. I don't know why. Maybe that's a belief. I may just believe that, and I got to change that, right? It's all based on evidence and experience. So if you look at your life and you want to create new habits and you want to do new things, start with the conscious. Start being aware of these things and just do them repetitively. And eventually it'll go into your subconscious and it'll be automatic, autopilot, right? And so here's what you can do with beliefs. What I like about beliefs is you don't need 90 days to change these. You don't need even 10 days, a week, 2 days. You can do it instantly, right? You do need to take maybe half an hour to realize what they are. The first step is to be aware of that belief. Where is it? Which belief do you have? So if you're wanting to attract the right person into your life, I would look at your relationship beliefs. What do you believe about women? Do women just want you for your money? Do they want you for this? What do they want? And then you got to look at, really important is to look at the beliefs about yourself. And here's the big one is we all have some sort of beliefs, at least so far, every person I've ever worked with, right, or talked to, or spoke with, or asked, they all have some belief of not being good enough. Okay, whether that's I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not old enough, I'm not young enough, I'm too old, I'm too young, you get what I'm saying? I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I'm crap, right? And that's like the deep subconscious belief. Like even if we're consciously saying, no, I'm not like that. Like I want to be, I want to be rich, but then we have those subconscious beliefs of the rich people and not good, or I want to be in a good, healthy relationship long term and enjoy a fruitful life, right? Consciously we believe that, but then we have all this subconscious beliefs about, well, women just want me for my money and blah, 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 or I'm not good enough, she won't love me for me. And if you have those type of things, you're going to create it. You're going to find evidence to create that experience for you. That's going to be your reality, right? Take a look at somebody who's very, very pessimistic. Right? If you believe this world is a dark, scary, hurtful, fearing place, then guess what? That's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to find. You're going to look at the news and plenty of information there, plenty of crazy things happening there. That's the evidence and that's the experience you have, and that's going to create your reality, and it's going to make your belief that much stronger. Whereas if you believe the place is, the world is full of love and light and people are growing and learning lessons and doing this and doing that, that's what you're going to see too. You're going to surround yourself with people that are doing that, and you're going to note it. You're like, oh, wow, I love how, this person is growing. I love how society is waking up to new things, right? Whether it's spirituality or it's belief systems or it's just, caring about one another, right? So that's really a lot of, it can take time to look at all these beliefs, but I promise you it's really worth it. And here's a simple process that you can use to kind of help just on the surface level here of beliefs. One is you got to be aware of them, right? So what are the beliefs about yourself? How do you find yourself not good enough? I'm too skinny. I'm too fat. I'm too dumb. I'm not smart enough. Whatever it is, like write those out and look at them, right? And each belief you can look at, and here's the questions you can ask yourself is, number one, is this true? Is this belief true? I'm stupid, right? Like, okay, is that really true? Am I really stupid? And you may feel like it is true. You're like, yeah, it is kind of true because, that one time I did this and I was stupid and I felt really bad and stupid about that. Oh, and then this other time, see, you're finding evidence and the experiences, right? So you're creating that reality for you, right? So the question after that is, okay, so is it true? Okay, and maybe it is, maybe it's not, but it feels true to me. Okay, so is it 100% without shadow of a doubt, 1,000,000% true? Right? Like, well, what does that mean, right? Well, that means if you took a poll, like let's say you asked 1,000 people, let's say you put it on Facebook and you ask the poll and say, hey guys, doing a poll, am I stupid? All 100,000 or 1,000 or however many people see it are going to say yes. And if everyone in the world, all whatever, 8 billion, 7 billion people in the world say yes, then that might just be a fact and you are stupid, right? If everybody can say yes to that question to you and you believe that's what they're going to say, then yes, you know, that's going to be in there. But if it's even one person says no, like, yeah, I think you're smart, then that belief is not true. It's not a fact. It's just a belief. And what's cool is if it's not true, then you can change it. So you can replace it, right? So if you believe you're really stupid, you set the intention to just change that, right? You're like, well, you know, it's really not true. So I'm going to change it. You know what? I'm actually really smart. And you look for evidence and experience of you being smart. So look back and be like, hey, when was the time that you felt really smart, or you felt really pretty, or you felt really happy, right? A lot of people are unhappy. Like, when was the last time you felt happy? And they go back, and it may be years, but they look at, dang, you know, I did that, and I was really smart that was a really good solution I came up with that one time, right? Evidence and experience, and the more that you find more evidence, the more reinforced that belief becomes. So you can change it from I'm stupid to I'm smart. And now this is just basic surface level. There's ways of digging deeper because beliefs, there's different levels of beliefs too. And we like to go into really deep root beliefs, and that shifts a lot. And a lot of times there's a lot of emotions attached to that, and energy and just different things. But for now, simply just list out some of the limiting beliefs that you may have and just set the intention to change them, because our brains are like computers. We can rewire it. We can rewire our brains. And when we do that, when we believe different things, and this is why affirmations work. A lot of times people affirm certain things. I am love, I'm healthy, whatever. And they do it so much that eventually they believe it and it goes in. But if you say it and you don't believe it, you don't feel it, it's just going to get rejected. It's going to be like error, right? You're going to try and install something that's going to say error because you're not really believing it. You're really not letting it in. And that's why you have to dig deeper and deeper into other types of beliefs. But for now, change what you can and see if there's a shift or a difference. And in future videos, I'm going to be talking about how you can dig effectively and get to the root of a lot of these beliefs. All right, so that's it for conscious mind and beliefs versus the subconscious mind and beliefs. And just remember, the subconscious mind and the subconscious beliefs control, or I wouldn't say control, but they run 96 to 98% of your life, which is just the majority of your life, right? So, you know, another point I want to make is another example is if you react a certain way. Right? Why is it you react a certain way when somebody says this or says that? Well, it's usually beliefs about yourself that you don't like, and there's emotions. There could be anger, and you react in a way that's like, hey, why are you attacking me? Even though maybe deep down you might believe it in a weird way. That's another topic, another story, but very important because the subconscious is what controls and why that like comes out. And you're like, why the hell did I say that? Like, I wasn't even that upset or whatever, but it just came out because it's automatic, right? So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful day, and much love to you. Bye-bye.